Hi everyone, welcome back to week 11 of the 2012 NFL season. I went 4-4 again with my picks last week, so I changed the backdrop, hoping that we'll do better. The first game we're going to look at against the spread has Arizona going to Atlanta, where the Falcons are 10-point favorites at home. This is a double-digit game here. At least it is right now. It started off as 9 or 9.5. Now it's in double digits. We saw what happened last week. The 3 games that were double digits, not one of those teams covered. I'm not saying that Atlanta is going to lose here, but there is a precedent for teams that win a lot of games in a row to start the season and then falter twice in a row. A couple of years ago when New Orleans Saints played Indianapolis in the Super Bowl, New Orleans won 13 games to start the season, then lost again, and lost again. And same thing with Indianapolis. They'd won 14 straight. Then when they lost the game after that. I'm not saying that Atlanta will lose this game, but there's no urgency for them. You know, the two teams that were chasing them for number 1 in the NFC, Chicago lost last week, and San Francisco tied, which is kind of like a loss. And now those two teams are actually playing each other this weekend. Again, you know, so there's no urgency for Atlanta to win. The games that Atlanta has played at home, they haven't won by more than 6 points here, and Arizona's coming off the bye. They might catch Atlanta napping a little bit. So let's take Arizona plus 10. The second game we're going to look at has Jacksonville going to Houston, another big spread, 15.5 points here right now. Again, we talked about what happened with the big spreads last week. This is just too many points, especially for a division game. Jacksonville's actually 4-0 against the spread on the road. Their only win this year has come on the road. I'm not saying they're going to win here, but on the road, Jacksonville in their 4 games have been outscored only 90-86. This could be the ultimate sandwich game for Houston. They played last week in prime time, the Sunday nighter against Chicago, which was a widely watched game, and next week they're playing on Thursday on Thanksgiving. And in the middle of all this, they have to play Jacksonville. Again, could be a letdown here. Let's take Jacksonville plus 15.5. The third game we're going to look at has San Diego going to Denver, where the Broncos are 7.5-point favorites at home. Is there a team that is hotter in the NFL than Peyton Manning's Denver Broncos? Of all the games that they've won this year, 6, they've won by 8 points or more. They beat San Diego about a month ago in San Diego. I think they're going to do the same thing here. The Chargers only 4 wins have come against Kansas City twice, Oakland, and Tennessee. Those teams combined are 9-28 straight up. I think Denver can put the dagger into the Chargers and take complete control of the AFC West with a win here. Lay the points. Take Denver minus 7.5. And the fourth game we're going to look at has Cleveland going to Dallas, where the Cowboys are 8-point favorites at home. Why? Because they won 1 game against a very dysfunctional Philadelphia team who had their starting quarterback knocked out, and the rookie played in his very first NFL game for half the game. You know, Dallas is yet to win back-to-back games. They're actually 0-3 against the spread this year. Cleveland's been very competitive. They've won a couple of games recently. They're coming off of a bye, and Dallas is actually going to be playing on Thanksgiving as well. Hey, you know how the Cowboys are. They like to be in the spotlight. They could be looking ahead to this game. You know what? Let's take Cleveland plus 8. Okay, here are my 4 over-under games. A little bit of a beer break. I haven't been winning that much, so I can only afford cheap Mexican beer. It all goes to the same liver. All right, the first game we're going to look at has New Orleans going to Oakland, where the number in that game is pretty high. It's 54.5. In the last 2 games that Oakland has played, they've given up 97 points. That's like 300 points a game. And now they're playing New Orleans, who will probably put 50 alone on them. Should be an easy over. Take over 54.5. The second game we're going to look at, we talked about it just a few seconds ago. San Diego is at Denver. That number is 48.5. I guarantee you that Peyton Manning will put 35 points on the board no matter what, and that means that San Diego only needs to score a couple of touchdowns. The Chargers are on a 5-1 over run right now, and Denver is 4-1 over in their last 5 games. So you know what? Let's take over 48.5. And then the third game we're going to look at has Baltimore going to Pittsburgh. That number is right now is 40.5. Well, the Steelers defense is going to have to batten down the hatches this week. Without Roethlisberger, they're going to have to throw everything defensively they can at Baltimore, and I think they will. Meanwhile, they on offense, their quarterback is going to be Byron Leftwich. I have a feeling that this game will be a single-digit number to a single-digit number. Let's take under the 40.5. And then the fourth game is the Monday nighter, where the Chicago Bears are at San Francisco. That number is quite low. It's 38.5. These are the two stingiest defenses in the entire league, and Cutler will probably be out for Chicago. I think you might see another single-digit to single-digit game. Chicago scores a lot of points, but most of them come defensively off of turnovers, and Alex Smith should be playing for San Francisco. And the Niners only give up about 1 turnover a game, so don't think that the Bears will be scoring a lot of defensive points. So let's take under the 38.5. Okay, we'll talk about some of the straight-up games. If you're still alive in your pool, you might want to consider maybe taking Atlanta, although they could be caught napping like I was talking to you about. I don't trust Dallas in this situation here. They could be looking ahead. New England is facing Andrew Luck, and while the kid has done really well, I think they've won 4 straight. Who have they beaten? They've beaten Cleveland, Tennessee, Miami, and Jacksonville. Not the best 4 teams. I think Bill Belichick might have a couple of surprises for the young kid. Houston obviously is the biggest spread this year, over 2 touchdowns. I'm almost guaranteeing you they're going to win their game. I myself, I'm going to take Denver in my suicide pool. Okay, so those are my thoughts for this week. I want to give a quick shout out though to, first of all, to Big Daddy J Productions. Wow, Brian and Jason are really doing well. They've gone a lot. I don't know what their record is the last couple of weeks, but it's very good against the spread. So make sure you check out their channel, and also Team Take'em. Sean Patrick and Billy B are lighting it up. Probably the hottest 2 prognosticators on YouTube right now. Make sure you check out Team Take'em. And a quick shout out to Joe from his channel is JJSF17. I believe he went 4-0 with his picks last week. Good for you, Joe. Make sure you check out those 3 channels and subscribe to them. Now, you've heard about my app that I'm working on. Well, right now, what I'm doing is I'm beta testing the app. And for those of you who really want to be on next year's app, send me a PM and I'll tell you what you need to do. And I'm sure that the app is going to be really, really cool next year. So give me a PM if you want to be on the app. And finally, I've been talking to you about Google Hangouts. Well, it's really easy. You go to Google Plus, you sign up with a Google account. And this week I talked to the football guru for about an hour. It was really fun. We talked football for 1 hour. He gave me his thoughts. I gave him my thoughts, and it was really great. We can do this every week for any of you who are interested in that. All right. For the Gio Knows channel, I am Gio. Let's take the man's money.